Hey, this week on Fish Lyfe Outdoors, we're on Lake Lavon, Texas. Y'all come with us. Hey guys, like I said, we're on Lake Lavon, Texas today. Another one of those working man's editions. It's about all I got time for this time of year. Weekends, this old boy's at deer camp this time of year, so hope y'all ain't expecting much in the way of weekend fishing, but I will be out plenty of afternoons. Got plenty of good lakes right here by me. I got Hubbard, Lavon, Louisville. I can even run up to Texoma, you know, in an hour, so if I can get off a little early one day. But today on Lavon, the lake is down about 3.5, 4 foot, and we are still gonna focus on rocks. Hey, old gentleman told me one time when I was out here, he said, if you ain't fishing rocks on Lavon, you ain't fishing right. So every time I fish rocks, I've been able to pick up a few. So we're gonna crank them, we're gonna shaky head them, we're gonna swivel head them. What else we gonna do? We gonna swim bait them a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna try it all, son. So let's see what we can do. Beer fish. Beer fish. Hey, dinks matter when it comes to beer fish, son.
100%.
Beer fish.
I didn't thought you had a whopper. Alright, that'll work.
Let me tell y'all. Let me tell y'all why this fish is so important. All right, let me tell y'all why this fish is so important. Me and my boy old Mark here, we got a rule. No cold beer till there's a fish in a boat. Well, time for that bullet. Hey, this is when dinks matter right here, son. Here's to you.
All right, so look, Zach and I had first fish in the boat for a beer. Okay, I don't know if y'all have ever seen us fish. I have never gotten into the cooler and got me a beer and not offered my partner a beer. Now he's already drank half a beer and didn't even offer me one. So appreciate it, Zach.
Dude, you can't be. Normally I love saying that's no farther from the truth, but actually that literally cannot be any more spot on. Hell, I even left the cooler half open. God almighty. Straight rookie move, y'all. Do not pull that on your partner. Hey, don't be a Z-Dub.
Look at the shad.
Hey, fish number 2 in here. Or 2 on Lavon for the day. Not too bad. There's a rock ledge coming right here. Now on the top of that rock ledge is only about 3 foot. So we're kind of up here close to the edge and we're kind of throwing parallel down it, trying to stay shallower because we tried to fish this deeper part and didn't get a bite. That one right there. But look what this fish spit up as I was reeling it in. Look at that. May have to sling the old swim bait around in here a little bit. But boy, let me tell you something. Pro tip here. Pay attention. Pay attention when you flipping fish up in your boat. If they spit that stuff up, because you want to talk about stink up a boat if you let it sit a couple of hours, it is awful. I think my line's running hand. That's a good fish. That's a good fish. Well, he ain't as good as I thought, but still a good fish.
That's a real good fish, man.
Still a good fish. Hey, fish number 3 out here on Lavon, working man's edition. Hell, it's 5:30. We ain't got but an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if we're lucky of daylight, depending on how late we want to fish. And man, we already getting into them. The old Fish Lyfe app. It never disappointed ZW, but that's why. I give him a 8.5 on that, barely any splash. See, I've got the bigger size in that in watermelon red. Oh, what is that?
Another one?
Oh, he was running out with it. When I set the hook, I didn't have, he was running toward me.
Which one? This is Sandlot? And I should have let him do that. I just should I just sit back and drink beer or what?
You can just sit back and hand me beer.
I can do that too. I mean, shit. Cause I dang sure ain't. I ain't even got a bite yet.
Well, not a giant by no means.
But still, it's a
But
fish.
I will take it. I'll take it, Mark Henry. Hold on. Let me do that Mark Henry dance. Hey, look. If that was a 10-pounder, you'd see that Mark Henry dance up there. But it ain't. Hey, the swivel head's doing it for me with a little LFT ring fry on it. Tomorrow I'm going out to mom and dad's house, cooking them up, grilling them up stage, shit like that. Get him hammered. Good fish. Good fish. Snippy, you want me to grab? Heck yeah.
That's a good fish.
Nice job there, old Hank.
So I was being shut out today. We've been in several different spots. Real nice fish. Went and fished probably 3 different spots. Decided to come back where we started, where we caught a few fish, and then hadn't been here 5, maybe 10 minutes, and already caught one.
Hey, tell them about the shad popping up everywhere.
Oh, shad are going crazy.
There is shad everywhere here.
This whole corner over here off these rocks is nothing but shad. It's going crazy right now.
All right, guys. Hey, I want to give you a quick rundown on our day on Lavon. Again, another working man's edition. And what I mean by that is I have an 8 to 3:30, 4 o'clock job. Any day that I can break free a little bit early and I can head to the lake, I'm gonna do that. And a working man's edition is only about 2.5, 3 hours of fishing. So that's what we got today. Ran out to Lavon, was able to pick up some decent fish. Stayed around rock pretty much most of the time. Now, typically when I fish rock, I love to throw a shaky head, or a crankbait. They wasn't biting, they wasn't chasing cranks at all, or swim baits. So I threw a shaky head out there about 5 times, got hung up 4 out of the 5 times. So I started looking for some alternatives. So I tied on this Strike King jointed structure head. I call it a swivel head, but apparently it's called a jointed structure head. A little 3/8 ounce because I was fishing shallow. We was less than 6 foot of water. But let me tell you why I love this bait right here around rock. Look at the head on that bait right there. You see how nice and pointed that is? This right here will drop down in the cracks of them rocks, and when you try to work it out, that point will pop on out of there. Now, when I'm throwing a shaky head on them, around them big chunk rocks on Lavon, I throw it out there 10 times, I'm gonna get hung up 8 or 9 times. That's just the way it is when you're fishing a shaky head and rocks. You got to come to that conclusion that you're gonna get hung up a bunch. You're gonna get bit a lot, but you also gonna get hung up a lot. So again, I wanted to try to find maybe somewhat of an alternative. Moved over to that swivel head and actually started getting bites. Now, generally on the swivel head right here, what I like to throw is some sort of creature bait, like a biffle bug or a brush hog or something along them lines. But today, man, they were really hitting that straight tail style worm. This is actually a grande bass rattlesnake. I actually just had it laying around here and put it on here just to show you. But what we caught the fish on Lavon was a 6 cents divine shaky head worm. I actually put a divine shaky head worm on this swivel head here, and they really chewed it up. Now, I tend to stay with the 3/8 ounce because y'all know ZW, shallow water fisherman. Very rarely am I outside of 12 foot of water. But on those summertime days, or late spring, early fall, when they're still grouped up out deep, I will move over to that 6 cents 3/4 ounce football swivel head, and I'll put a big perm on it. And let me tell you something, they will chew it. They sure will. Most of the time you see them big perms thrown on just a big 6 cents 3/4 ounce shaky head, but they will hammer it on the swivel head. Now, if there is a downside to the swivel head, is that it does swivel. Okay, now that's a plus and a minus. It's a plus because it gives the fish more lifelike action when you're popping it. Either, not only will this pointed head come through rocks real good, but it'll also come through grass and timber phenomenally. It really will. But when a fish bites this and you set the hook, okay, a lot of times you're gonna have that swivel head just right either at the bottom lip, or at the where the mouth closes, or it's gonna be, you're gonna have them stuck in the top lip, and that's gonna be way out here. So you really, what I really try to do when I'm fishing these swivel heads is I try to use the biggest equipment I can, 7.4 to 7.6 heavy action rod with 20-pound test, because when I set a hook on this, I literally want to horse that sucker to the boat. I do not want to give him or her any opportunity to come up and shake his head, because with that swivel right there, when they come up and shake, that swivel is just going like that, and it pops that hook around. I will find that I will lose some fish fishing the swivel head if I let them come up and jump and play with them, and oh, look how pretty he's jumping for the camera. Horse that sucker in the boat, get them in there, and then you can take a look at your fish. Who cares how the fish jumps, right? But anyway, just something to be cautious of. When you are throwing them swivel heads, they do tend to sling these a lot easier than they would, say, a shaky head, or a even a Texas rig, for that matter, a peg Texas rig. But hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope these little swivel head tips and tricks help you guys out on your next time on the water. So until then, when you bite that life, you know what to do. Get out and live it, baby.